Hello and welcome back to LEGO City Undercover. This is Enchanted, and today we'll be exploring Paradise Sands, which is fairly interesting. I quite like this area overall. It's a very nice looking area with some very interesting buildings, and forgot to put the cheats on, so let's get that out of the way. There we go. Now we can do that. I like the draw distance in this area, like being able to see the roller coaster from here and all the buildings and everything. It gives you a good first glance at the entire level, and it's a very good way of introducing the place as well.
Almost time for work.
First of all, of course, we're going to head down to the roller coaster. And while we're here, we have quite a few things we can deal with. First of all, of course, we have a cat to deal with. Once we've built the roller coaster, Orion's rocket. I quite like the design of the coaster, it's pretty cool looking. I like that pan as well to this character token, it's a pretty cool visual thing. I also like the roller coaster is actually 5 distinct cars. It's a pretty cool visual thing. It's not just a single like train of them. And I quite like the camera angle here as well. It feels very classic roller coaster VR game thing, or even just like theme park world or roller coaster world. It's a very nice little camera angle. And I quite like this little covered area as well. The coaster is a little slow, but I just generally quite like the idea of riding a coaster to get a token. It's a pretty fun thing. So a lot of games have like roller coasters but don't really let you do much with them, so that's always quite fun to play with the rides and stuff in games. I always quite like that. We just keep finding increasingly terrible places to do these, don't we? I mean, a wooden floor, this couldn't possibly go wrong with a jackhammer designed to break concrete. Good job they put down concrete for this particular mission. Otherwise we completely destroy the boardwalk. And yeah, for some reason in this area the sound cans get a little cut out for some reason when it comes to music. It's very strange. It does a little bit in the next video as well. I don't know why it does that. Seems like it just has a little trouble with some of the areas, or like the sound maybe overlapping or something and things go weird, but I'm not sure exactly what causes it. I just really like the look of the boardwalk though, it's a really nice area. Like the massive roller coaster is a really good visual set piece, and the little rides add some little bits of colour and flavour to it as well. That's pretty cool. Here of course we have this, we just have to work out how to actually work with. It's quite well hidden, but you may have heard what we have to deal with down there in the corner. And here we are. And the music at the pirate ship is a pretty appropriate music, the kind of music you actually hear with all these kind of carnivals and stuff, just generic pop music. And of course the Viking ship gives us a Viking. It's kind of fitting. It's like poetry, it rhymes. So here we go. Up here we have something fairly interesting that I'm looking forward to showing off. We're going to head up to the observatory, but this time we actually have stuff to do there beyond story. Not much, it's a very sparse area, but it's a nice enough one. So here we go, parking in a really impromptu spot. And it's time to find a particular vantage point, which will get us something fairly neat. This over here. It's a very unusual shaped land, so let's head down there, shall we? Seems the most appropriate way of getting there. So if you can see in the distance, we have a little chicken icon. So this is perhaps one of the longest chicken glides in the game. It's incredibly hard to get right. It and the crane might be tied, but it's much harder because it's much sparser as well. There's much fewer rings to glide through, so you don't really have much chance to correct for any kind of mistakes. For example, if you look really here, I'm really falling way too low. There's also some fairly frustrating situations like this. The chicken made it, I didn't. So let's let it respawn me and try that again, shall we? But I quite like that you can get on top of the roller coaster as well. That's a pretty cool vantage point. Quite like how relaxing these can be, and these little steps can be a little bit like misleading as well, because they seem much further away from each other than they are, because they're actually very close together to get you enough height so you can actually finish getting all the way over to the roller coaster. So you can break this box and build another star.
Yeah!
Only one more to go. First of all though, we have other things to do around here. I quite like this sandcastle, it's a really awesome visual thing, it's very, very elaborate, so I quite like that. I mean, it's a physically impossible sandcastle, it would completely fall apart at the first hurdle, but it's a very nice visual, and it adds a good focal point to the beach itself, which is otherwise generally fairly dull. Because the beach is not really much there but sand. Never really like beaches much in real life or in games. They always just find them really boring because there's just nothing really to them. It's like, sure, you can relax in the sun or whatever, but I've just never found sunbathing particularly exciting or rewarding, so I just don't really feel the see the point in it really myself. I tend to get bored within 10 minutes at a beach. I just want to go do something. Also, I'm a very poor swimmer, so I don't really go near the ocean either. Kind of pathetic that way. But here we go. These are really, really hard to find because there's quite a lot of decoy yellow surfboards here that look like they could potentially be something, but are too close to other things to really be part of anything. And this is a silly loop-de-loop, really. Who's going to drive on the beach? That's just a really silly behaviour. And this is my question though, and who's going to drive on the beach? Well, sandcastle number 2. Yay! The answer to my question is I will. I will drive on the beach, because I'm an idiot with a tiny little car and a death wish. Let's drive on the beach and annoy all the patrons. And get slow down and a little bicycle too. Even worse on sand. This game just doesn't really seem to get that vehicles and sand just don't mix. At all. Of course, under the boardwalk is a fairly cunningly hidden boulder to take down. Generally, this area's got a fairly strong design, although there's some aspects of it I find kind of annoying. But for the most part, like this is something you really need a boat for, but I didn't bother. I just swam all this way to get all the way over to this little island because it has a super build here. That seemed fairly lacking in the shoreline, didn't it? We had a lot of shoreline, but no lighthouse. Especially dangerous considering there's a harbour not far from here. Yeah, this is where Bluffbeard actually, which is the guy who runs all the ferries, actually lives at this lighthouse, manning the place to make sure that the light stays lit and that the boats stay far away from it. And it's a nice little thing. It's a decent vantage point. I like the view from here of the rest of the boardwalk and that little mountain path as well. It's a neat little place to go. There's the final one of these things. You can actually see it spawning in before the cutscene shows it as well. That's pretty cool. The fact that it's already there is just this is just drawing attention to it with the sparkles. The sparkles aren't like a spawning animation. You just say, "Hey, look, it's over here" animation. It's kind of interesting programming wise. Really laughing at Rex Fury? He seems like a foolish individual. Yeah, this area is fairly dense. There's quite a lot here, but there's also quite a lot of gaps between things. And yeah, I did shoot that. Didn't realise I got away from that early. Sorry about that, but I did shoot that silver surfboard that you say saw just at the end of that thing. Be more careful about that in future, but at least you saw where it was. It was better than the forgetting to pick up the token from that one video as well. And this area has quite a lot of stuff to do as well, not just character tokens, well mostly character tokens. But it's generally like each of these hotels has a thing to it. It's not immediately obvious in some cases, but there is a thing to each of these hotels, even if it's just part of something greater. I quite like the little top hat flamingos, they're pretty cool. Rudolph Pianola, you have style in your hotels. It's just a very, very strong focal point, that big pink hotel. I quite like this little garden area here, just a large amount of flowers and things to shoot in general. It's a big colour gun playground. And the barbecue in the corner there is a good little bit of foreshadowing for one of the collectibles as well. I mean, it is kind of teaching you a rule. By the way, these gardens sometimes have barbecues in them, so check them out. That makes sense, flowers and the whole flower wreath of the horizon. But here's the other garden on the other side of the hotels. And yeah, it's kind of showing us that back at kind of these gardens there's barbecues, so it's a good place to look for barbecue fires. It's a neat little teachable moment that the game has there. Yeah, there's a lot of these cloaks on top of these hotels. I'm assuming it's supposed to be the owners of said hotels. Or if they're not, I kind of wish that was the case. I like Ernie's as well. It's a pretty nice building in itself with the little low floors and everything like that. Nothing up here right now though, so let's forget about this place for now. This will be something to bear in mind for later. This is an interesting mechanic over here though. It's finally bringing this back a little bit. There's very few times the firefighter's hose actually gets used, apart from barbecue fires. Like filling these pools basically just very rarely comes up. Which is a shame because it's a potentially interesting mechanic you could do a lot of stuff with. Potentially, theoretically. I mean, it could also get really old really quick. Especially with the poor aiming of the fire extinguisher. But it's still nice to be able to play with it when you have the chance. This is just me being an idiot and forgetting how to get up there. I'll come back to that. But we also find our tree by being an idiot as well. Was a silver birch, now just a palm tree like everyone else. I do like there are actually silver palm trees as well though, like with those big white ones and stuff like that. It's pretty cute. It's almost like it's kind of disguising its colour gun tone disguises. Tree hugger. He was one of the guys, I believe, who was causing problems for Forrest Blackwell earlier on when he was trying to kidnap him. Him and the guy with the massive beard, whose name I've forgotten. I think it was Troublemaker something else. Here's an interesting thing. It's what I was trying to do earlier, actually, in the free run of Over the Rooftops while I was trying to listen on Buck's Fury. I was trying to get down here, because this is right down where I was falling, but it wouldn't let me fall down there to get that yet. So I had to wait for it.
I shouldn't have eaten that.
I'm sure that was a bad idea if you to have eaten that. I quite like the big smell tube as well from that mission. That's a pretty cute visual. I'm gonna do the vehicle challenge later, don't worry. I haven't forgotten, I just kind of ignored it for now because I had other things on my mind. And also we've actually broken 100 million studs, so that's pretty nice. We are loaded for bear. Don't get stuck in the box, there we are. I quite like those little jukeboxes as well. And that balcony finally comes in handy. Whoops. Forgotten to do the bobble hat because I need loose thread I guess to grappling up with. Rocket Man seems like it could be quite a lot of fun to play around with. We'll be showing those off in the bonus videos towards the end of this LP, when I actually have, like, because of course one thing I'm planning on doing here is when I have all of the things in the category, I'm going to do a video of me switching to each of those things in that category to show off their animations and how they drive in some cases, that kind of thing. And yeah, there's some flowers I had to water. Again, cut a little bit early there, sorry about that. So let's head up here. See how those flowers at the back of the hotel were new. I watered them during this filming. So, right at the top of the Honey Hotel, we found a character token. I'm going to be a lot more careful in my editing in future. Sorry about the sloppy editing in moments of this particular video. but it's been quite busy and hectic, and I'm feeling not particularly well, as you may have guessed from my voice, so I don't really want to rebake everything, that kind of stuff. I'll just have to be more careful next time. But I think those may have been the only points of poor editing there. These glides feel much easier now that he's done the really hard ones. Quite like some of these little listening in ones. This has got a cute selection.
Hello, reception. How can I help you? No, I'm afraid I can't send breakfast to your room. Because you're not staying at the hotel, Glenn. Stop calling me at work.
Hello? Is that reception? I want to complain about my room. It's tiny. There's barely room to stand in it. What's my room number? Hang on, I'll check the door. It's room number... broom cupboard. Oh, okay. Sorry. I see what I've done there. Hello, housekeeping.
Oh, thanks for coming.
You wanted the turn-down service, right?
Yes.
Okay. I wouldn't date you in a million years. There you go.
I quite like that one. That's just a cute little pun.
I love these all-you-can-eat hotel breakfasts.
Yeah, but ain't we gonna get in trouble? 'Cause we ain't actually staying at the hotel.
We're a gang, you mook. Trouble is our middle name.
Mine's Larry.
Oh. Just remember the meeting under the pier today. We're planning something.
You might be meeting under the pier, but soon you'll be under arrest. Oh, it's funny.
If you say so, this is actually quite a tricky one because it's miles away down a beach. We kind of need to nick a vehicle for this. So let's get in one, shall we? We have very little time and a long way to go, so let's get there as quick as possible. Even if that means undoing our hard work with the sandcastles. Here we go, plenty of time.
Beach party, boys!
I do like the way the game's designed in that it's sometimes, you know, for example, you'd always think to look on the roof of buildings to get like collectibles and stuff like that. But then this particular mission puts you under here already so you can see the boulder from here if you haven't already guessed it'll be under here. So it's a neat little way of showing you, yeah, there's stuff under the boardwalk, check this place out too. Don't ignore it just because it's like a little area underneath something else. That's an aspect of this game's design I quite like. It does a good job drawing your attention to each and every part of the map in some way or the other.
Stop, or I will keep running after you.
Well, that didn't last long. And here's the final one of those 3 surfboards. There we go. That one spawns very far away, which is a little annoying. Let's go get it, shall we? Car time. You'll do. Whoop. And there we have our surfer girl. Which is fitting for getting 2 surfboards. I quite like the way they kind of planned that out, that's pretty nice. Now let's finally do this free one, shall we? This one's fairly interesting because it's just a big, tall upwards climb, not really a lot of verticality, and that was kind of lucky that I got there at that timing. So now let's finish our route to the top of the hotel, shall we? This is a little bit cheeky if you don't expect it to be right up there, but then again this is the place with the free run block, so if you haven't really noticed the pattern there, it's kind of your own fault for thinking the elevator was the way to go. So also where we got a free run token is of course going to be up here. I do like the face on that bee, it's so happy to be there. Just like Frank Honey himself. Yeah, less than 200 yellow bricks at this point, we're really racking them up. So over here, we have a little bit of a mildly hidden area over here. With this little rooftop here. Also, of course, there's other suspects to chase down in the car. I really hate these. And there he is. Not in a garage this time, but just in a hotel. This part, I believe, took me a few tries. I got kind of lucky right at the beginning there. This guy's a cheeky bastard. He doesn't actually go very far, which is the trick here. You have to be very quick catching him. Because if you get outside of this area and then don't manage to cut him off, you're basically screwed because you're actually really close here to his end point. Because he's only on the other side of the island and he's already cutting through this tunnel. You see, his end point is actually Chan's scrapyard, which is not that far away. But luckily, he got stuck from someone because he's an idiot. So I was able to do that and take care of him before he got away. Yeah, I had a few times where he just got straight to the scrapyard and there was nothing I could do about it. Just cheeky race, those ones when they get really short ones. Which is kind of mean. But we're halfway done with that BS now. We got a little blue car for the for our troubles. So let's head back, shall we? And here, of course, you have something a little more chill, our vehicle theft. Let's see what we're stealing this time. It's a cute little number. I like this little pink convertible. Reminds you a little bit of Thunderbirds, although it's not a Rolls Royce. Just because it's a small pink convertible. Watch it, tiny car. Here, actually we're going backwards there, it's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, this guy also goes to Chan's scrapyard, which is fairly appropriate. Seems like Paradise Sands may be Chan Chuang's territory. The Athena. The car driven by smart people. Or fighty people. One of the two. I'm sure she doesn't mind which. And here's our piggy. This is one of those routes that's inaccessible without the helicopter, by the way. We physically can't get anywhere beyond, anywhere near here without the helicopter to help. It took me a while to get out of this rooftop because I had to find a good sort of spot to jump out from. Let's put our pig away, shall we? Rex looks like he's having fun riding a pig. Better not tell his cellmates about that. I'm sure that'll look really cute to see Rex Hero carrying a pig as well. I've got one more thing to do though. This took me forever to find as well. I had to look this one up because this little blue pole is really hard to notice. The silver statue is on top of this little awning though. So now that we've blown that up, we can call it a day. We've done everything we can in Paradise Sands. Less than 200 bricks to go. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.